Hi guys, just sat here. I thought I'd do a little video for all the people who are suffering over the Jubilee bank holiday weekend, suffering with depression, anxiety, any mental health disorder that you may have. Now's the time to seek help, get medical advice, or speak to a friend or a family member, whoever you can. If you don't have any friends or family member that you think you can speak to, like I didn't, seek medical advice immediately, because now is the time. The sooner you go and do it, the better. The sooner you can return to health again. It's a sad, lonely place to be, especially over the holidays. And I just thought of that. I sat outside and I just thought of all the people who may be in struggle or in need. This one's for you. All the people who are out there on and off with it all. Do yourself a bit of exercising, a bit of training, put the drink down, put the drugs down, put everything down. Get your runners on, get your gym gear on, do a bit if you can. Any exercise is better than none. Good luck, God bless, see you all soon, peace out.
What's good, family? Shout out to your man the YB, number sugar mama in the game right now, Lizzie Corinne, for boosting up his coin 100%, no doubt. So we got some breaking news right now regarding your man's Tyson. Fury and his comeback. Team Fury. Listen, Bob Arum, we know Bob old right now, 100%. Bob Arum, dusty lips. Let slip some super duper inside secrets right now, 100%. Yeah, he let it slip, confirmed Tyson Fury essentially not retired. And like we all pretty much know, he waiting right now to see what happens with listen, bottom line, he waiting to see how the world's #2 bodybuilder of all time, Mr. Anthony Johnston, gets on versus Alexander, the middleweight, Usyk. Now, here are the quotes from Bob Arum. Tyson Fury is funny. Well, stop capping. But anyway, he says, Tyson Fury is retired, and he will be retired until we come to him with the next big event, and then he will unretire. I mean, have you ever heard something? So, what's the point? And that's why I have to admit, for me, Fury, people who know the channel know that I've had to repent, bottom line. Yeah? People who are honest with themselves, like me, have to admit we was wrong about Fury, we was wrong about Wilder, and we got the whole situation 180 degrees wrong. Simple as that, yeah? If any of the cats out there, like myself, who was sucking Johnston off, sucking Bumillion shite off, God knows why, like I told you before, I must repent, must do, every day. You man know I be repent, for his sins. 100. But also to be fair to myself and to all the other Mr. Johnston and Bumillion fans, it's not our fault. It's not our fault the big, useless, heartless, pumped-up weightlifter is no good. Yeah? It's not our fault Bumillion shot and do nothing he said he was gonna do. Do you know what I'm saying? To some extent, it's kind of like, well, what are we supposed to do? We was trying to go, yeah, okay, now. But anyway, that's here or there. The point is, Tyson Fury has won many people around. And he is building momentum. Now, back a few years ago when his name wasn't as hot, his style wasn't as hot, this was that same kind of game he was running. And it made more sense back then. The whole, I'm retiring after every fight shtick. Because guess what? I know Fury fans won't want to hear this, but the truth is, he weren't interested in the ring. Yes, he could talk outside of the ring, but inside of the ring, it wasn't all that. It wasn't. Let's be real now. Yeah, the fights weren't entertaining. So it almost like Fury had to make up for the lack of entertainment in the ring with all the other stuff around it. Batman suits and whatever else. Now, he got the most fire product. I told you before. I haven't bought a pay-per-view in boxing for years. Tyson Fury versus Bumillion Shite was the first pay-per-view I bought. On principle. Yeah, because if Fury's going to go in there and knock guys out, I can get behind that. I'll tell you what I ain't going to get behind. A big pumped up useless weightlifter going in there, running around against Mr. Blobby and saying, I hope, or getting filled in by Mr. Middleweight in front of 90,000 of his own fans and saying, I hope you lot enjoyed that. What the fuck? Wrong with this funny style guy? Yeah? So, like I said, I'm happy to support. I'm happy to be involved in a fair exchange. Simple as that. Yeah, if Tyson Fury is more than happy to KO the bums in the division, I'm happy to put the coin in, 100%. No doubt about it, 1,000,000%. So, where am I going with this? Well, like I said, the product is fire right now. I don't know what... I mean, Tyson Fury obviously isn't being advised to say, oh, let's retire again. But equally, I get that Frank Warren and Bob Arum, they're not micro... Or Tyson Fury can't be micromanaged. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. But, I mean, maybe it's just my opinion, but I believe I speak for most of the main market fans right now, would much rather Tyson Fury, like I've been saying, he's been building exponential momentum. His star's only growing right now. Back in the past when he wasn't really getting traction inside the ring, yeah, even after the first Wilder fight, that wasn't when he blew up. No one really cared, truth be known. That was still really relatively a hardcore fight. It was after the second one when he mollywopped Wilder. That's when this exponential growth started, obviously. Because don't forget, people, it's the heavyweight division. People don't tune into the heavyweight division to see 12-round UDs. We can watch midgets do that. Yeah, they tune into the heavyweight division to watch dudes mollywopped, and he delivered that. The last few fights, he's delivered that. Yeah, and on the back of that, that's how he's got this growth now. I mean, let's not forget, after or during the Dillian White fight, the build-up to the Dillian White fight, for me, was a letdown. Now, what we don't know is whether or not the whole MTK shtick, because I'm pretty sure at one point, Tyson Fury was roasting Bumillion for not turning up, and then the whole MTK stuff dropped, and all of a sudden, I believe, Tyson Fury and Dillian almost entered a kind of a silent agreement of kind of like, well, I won't roast you for being married to Dean, and you won't roast me about the MTK rubbish. That's what I think it was, because it got weird. It got super weird. It got weird odd for me, honestly. And I remember watching the fight and saying this, because bear in mind as well, for the first 5 rounds, nothing was going on until Bumillion got chinned. It was dead, and I thought, wow. Bear in mind the build-up and how that fight was going, I was not impressed at all. I was actually, in my head I was thinking, I'm fixing to roast dudes tonight. Because I paid the $25 pay-per-view, and we didn't get... I mean, for me, it's got to be one of two things. We've got to get... Well, to be honest, really, I want a great build-up and a great, interesting fight. Well, not even necessarily interesting. Tyson Fury proved the fight don't need to be interesting. As long as the dude ends up sparked out, we don't really mind how you do it, truth be known. But it wasn't looking that way, was it? Let's be real now. The fight was doing nothing until it was. And that there is, again, that shows the levels of Tyson Fury here, to pull it out of the bag like that. Because no one didn't know he had that kind of thing inside him, facts. Very few people would have bet on, even if people who bet on Fury to mollywop Dillian White, very few people saw Dillian being out of there in one shot. Simple as that. So anyway, I've gone around the long way around. What I'm getting at is, he's got all this momentum. For me, a little bit was dropped in the build-up to the Dillian fight. I think he should have put the hammer down more. I remember, when he wasn't as ferocious inside the ring against Vlad. And against... In fact, I remember the David Haye build-up, and the Steve Cunningham build-up, and the Vlad build-up. And these were all build-ups in fights where he didn't have the hands to back it up as such, but he'd be talking the most. Now, he's got the hands to back it up, and he's almost backed off. I'm thinking, now's the time where you should be out here proper, do you know what I mean? Proper strutting your stuff off. Why not? What's anyone going to do? Listen, what's the big bodybuilder going to do? Nothing. And that's the point. It's almost like, you was punking Vlad, you was punking or David Haye and whatever else, when really all you was going to do is go in there and run around the place all night. Now you can smoke dudes, and you want to be all friendly. I don't get that myself. But putting that to one side, either way, friendly or not, he smoked Bumillion. Yeah? And that, again, had that big buzz, or had Fury going on. Fury's kind of fame, or not fame, I'm not talking cheesy, but, you know what I mean? His starlight was accelerating. And then after the fight, in my opinion, Fury's got knockout power. He's everything a heavyweight champion should be as such. He's knocking out all the bums, and you best believe there's a whole lot of bums to be wiped. Yeah, a whole bunch of bums to be wiped right now in the game. You're knocking out you're wiping all the bums thoroughly. Yeah, no doubt about it. Not even a little bit of a messy bum left. They've all been wiped. You're wiping all the bums, and then, I'm retiring. It's almost like cutting it dead, isn't it? I'm retiring now. And I get the whole shtick before the fight, well, this is the last one, and I don't know. I said it before, to be fair with you. I don't want Tyson Fury to retire. At all. It don't make no sense whatsoever. But, equally, if he was actually to retire, like, give the belts up, and properly go away, at least that quits it dead. But the fact is that middle ground. This makes it quite awkward, actually. Oh, I'm here, but I'm not here. Why not just stay here? Say you're here for 1 or 2 more fights. If I was advising Tyson Fury, yeah, he would have come out after the Dillian White fight, either on the mic or for the last few weeks, and been saying, listen, I've got 2 fights left, depending on how the bodybuilder does. If the bodybuilder beats Usyk, I'm going to fight the bodybuilder. And that's going to be my last 2 fights. 2 times with the bodybuilder. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to fill the big pumped up weightlifter in 2 more times. 100%. Yeah? And that's the kind of shtick he should have been on. Riding with it. Carrying it. Rather than, I'm retired, but I'm not really retired and I'm coming back. It just, I don't know, I don't see where he's going with that. I don't get it don't do nothing for no one, does it? Right now, we should be, in my opinion, hearing a daily commentary on the bodybuilder, a daily commentary, or at least a weekly commentary, or at least a bi-daily commentary of what he's going to do to the bodybuilder, how pumped up he is, how much he loves lifting weights, how useless he is, how he ain't got no heart. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we should be hearing right now. Because that's what Tyson Fury been doing. He's been doing that. Yeah, he'd been doing that when it wasn't even believable. Let's be real now. Tyson Fury's been saying he's going to knock everyone out for years and it wasn't believable. Now it's believable and he's talking about being retired. I don't get it. Like I said, when his in-ring product wasn't that entertaining, it made sense to some extent that he wants to retire every time. Because that's how you kept people interested. That's how it kept some sort of relevance, because you weren't keeping a lot of relevance in the ring. That's just the facts. Yeah? Oh, listen, I ain't gonna lie to no one. Let's be real now, Tyson Fury in ring performances weren't, people, of course, Fury Man fans will tell you that it was the best ever. It was not. It was not entertaining. It was as bad as heavyweight boxing gets, to be quite frank. Just dancing around like a 125 pounder soaking wet, 124 pounder, whatever small looking ass weights there are down there. Yeah? Down with the midgets. Now you've got it all, and it's like you're trying to put it in a box. Like he's almost trying to limit the possibility here. Because we know, look at McTapper, look at all the big ones, even Ali and whatnot, the big ones. It comes from personality. Yeah? And being retired, and pretending you're retired, there ain't no personality in that. That's dead, in my opinion. So Bob Arum's let slip here, as we all know, categorically going to come. I mean, Bob's statement just says it all for me. Why even bother saying, oh, he's retired, but he's waiting for us to give him a deal for the AJ Usyk fight, and then he will unretire? Well, that in itself don't make no sense. What you mean to say is, and the worst thing is, Tyson Fury is still training every day. Now, to be fair, I do expect, even when he is actually genuinely retired, I do expect him to carry on training. But still, in my opinion, it's clear. It's super duper clear. Well, Bob Arum's told you it's clear what's going on here. I just don't see the need to pretend. Does anyone? I mean, you man, tell me what you think. Now we've heard it from Team Fury themselves. I'd love to hear an explanation of what the need is to be. The conversation, in my opinion, shouldn't be, he's retired now, but he's going. That shouldn't be the conversation. The conversation should be pure, wow, Tyson Fury just had a quick go on Mr. Johnston. Yeah, oh, Tyson Fury just mugged off a million shots again, sparked out in one shot. Oh, that's what should be happening. Tyson Fury should be taking his turn, or Tyson Fury should be taking as many turns on all of these heavyweight bums he wants. If he wants another go on Dillian again, he take a go on Dillian. What's he going to do? Dillian ain't going to do nothing. Yeah, Dillian, We'll spend 6 months in Portugal, make a big fuss, and get knocked out by one shot after doing nothing. That's what Dillian will do. That's a fact. Yeah, Dillian will make a big fuss for 700 days, and then listen, Dillian will kick up a huge fuss for 700 days about how much he needs his shot. Yeah, he won't come to press conferences because he needs to be training in Portugal, and then he'll do nothing for 6 rounds and get chinned in one shot. That's what Dillian's stick is. So don't tell me what he can do. He ain't gonna do nothing apart from end on the floor looking all stupid looking about how he is pushed. That's what Dillian gonna do. Yeah. And to be quite frank, no one can do nothing in my opinion. What they can do? Who? Joe Joy's too slow in my opinion. I mean, listen. If you think Dillian's slow, wow, Joe's slow. Yeah. And we all know Dillian. No one has made Dillian look slow, to be quite honest with you. In fact, AJ and Dillian was going 50-50, yeah? No, go back and watch the AJ versus Dillian fight. At not one point do you think, wow, Dillian looks slow, yeah? Again, I've told you before, AJ makes everyone look like Superman. That's what he does. I don't know what it is about him. He's got some weird kind of thing going on, some weird kind of shtick going on, where AJ has this ability to make bums look like 10 out of 10 fighters. Yeah, AJ has this ability, yeah, to make bums look like absolute all-time great throwback fighters. No word of a lie. After the Ruiz fight, people were saying, I have to put my hands in there. I was saying, wow, Andy Ruiz is a throwback. Wow, he's so ferocious. Next thing you know, a washed-up 40-year-old Chris Arreola was bashing him all around the ring. I thought, what the fuck? Big buff dude, big buff bodybuilding dude, just got smoked, and Chris Arreola showing the guy no respect. It's bad for Johnston right now. Yeah? He really does. The only thing AJ's actually confident about is pumping a weight. That's it. That's bottom line. Yeah, he ain't confident. He don't want to do nothing else. He loves pumping weights. That's it. AJ's passion is to pump weights. That's it. Yeah, he loves to pump weights. And like I've told you before, I do give AJ a lot of credit for what he's done for the weightlifting community. Yeah, told you before many times. AJ is the first bodybuilder to bring weight pumping to the pay-per-view stage. That has to count for something. But anyway, listen. All I'm saying is, Tyson Fury, drop all this retirement crap now. I mean, another thing for me is, if you are going to retire, let's think about longevity and legacy here. If I was going to retire, if I knew, let's be real now, Tyson Fury realistically has got at most 18 months, or let's call it 2 years. At most, from today, Tyson Fury's got 2 years left. Now, how do you want to be remembered? I guess to be fair, you could say, well, as long as he puts the performances in the ring, who cares? That's true to some extent, but I ain't trying to hear that. I'm trying to hear, listen, you got 2 years left. What? Like, people talk about, oh, I want to give something back to the fans. Yeah, let's be real now. The fans the fans provide every entertainer with their lifestyle. Yeah, so in terms of legacy and in terms of fan value, give the fans what they want. The fans don't want to hear about how you retired, and the fans don't want to hear lies about how you retired and how you're not coming back when you are coming back. Yeah, the fans don't want to hear about how you retired, but you're not prepared to give your belt up. Yeah, it's almost like taking the fans for a joke. Truth be known, stringing people along. Don't be doing that. It's dead. What the fans want, I told you what the fans want. Yeah, the fans want to see the top dog mugging everyone else off, and it's not like Tyson Fury is. It's not as if Tyson Fury, was someone like AJ, where it's almost asking for too much. We know AJ got no mouth game. Yeah, we know AJ boring. We know AJ a company man. So, I wouldn't expect it from him. But given the years of Fury, these last 2 years should be really, in my opinion, Fury's best 2 years. He's at his most explosive in the ring. He's getting better every time. But then again, I guess maybe what we're seeing here, is it fair to say Tyson Fury's probably maturing? Back 10 years ago when he was mugging off David Haye and whatever else, I think he only had one child, and you know what I mean, he was obviously a lot younger. Now he's mid-30s. 7 kids, and I guess that probably, in all honesty, that probably is what half of the thing is here. It's probably just, I mean, how many 35-year-olds do we hear talking mad shit? It's quite rare. So maybe it's just him maturing, but either way, if that was the case, then he shouldn't still be pulling the retirement game he's been pulling for 10 years. So it can't work both ways. If you've matured, he should be mature enough to say, listen, I'm not going to string the fans along saying I'm retired. I'm staying, and I'm just going to see what's sweet. Yeah, I'm going to see if the booty coming up next is going to be sweet enough for me to pop. That's what he could say. He could have just said, listen, I'm not sure if I'm retiring. Yeah, if Mr. Johnston sticks his butt in the air high enough, I might pop it for him. Yeah, if not, I won't. That one's there. That's what he should say, 100%. If Johnston sticks his big muscly glutes wide enough in the air, yeah, where I can get a whiff, I might just pop it, like the Saudi Don's been doing for a few years still. Yeah, 100%. So, but listen, this confirms what we all knew. Either way, will we get our wish of Tyson Fury getting back on these guys and giving us a good energy-filled 2 years? The odds aren't looking great for that, to be honest. It seems to me Fury's gone down more the road of trying to be some sort of... In a way, I have to say, it's almost like Tyson Fury is trying to become an AJ 2.0. Honestly, it's like he wants to become a brand ambassador or something. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it myself, but who cares what I think? I just don't like the whole, I want to be... What's the word? I want to be mature and I want to be a staple of the community. I think, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I think F it. That's what I think. How about that? Yeah, all that other, in my opinion, it's all way overrated. All that community rubbish, man, overrated in my opinion. And it's not even, I'm not saying community rubbish, but it's just, for me, people these days try too hard to be, what's the word? To be Mother Teresa on social media. Do you understand? If you really want to do stuff, if you really want to be a community mental health advisor, then do that. In my opinion, jumping on Instagram and I think that for me, that don't count for me. Putting an IG video out, and yeah, you'll get loads of people in the comments saying, wow, this changed my life, and I don't know about that myself. I think that if you really want to help, then help. IG, trying to be, what's that word they call it? Virtue signalling. There's a lot of virtue signalling cats right now. They jump on Instagram and they're always pushing their mental health, and they almost trying to seek validation, trying to seek, oh, he's a great person. Just be a great person, innit? And then talk shit as well. Anyway, listen, I've rambled on, but you get the message still, 100%.